How did Akash protect thousands of lives while the enemy involved commercial planes? Who supported enemy attacks and who will gain when it cracks? Name's Tony from Tunicorn. Soon you'll know how each animal met his imaginary whore. More than 3 dozen Indian jets took off at night loaded with pointy probes for radical therapy. They raised 9 hideouts and training camps. Rafale's cruise missile gave their lice-infected heads a deep scalp wash. Mirage dropped hammer and spikes while Sukhois carried BrahMos, erasing the past, present, and future of targets in a single hit. Number 1 pilots were sleepless for 2 weeks, dreading this live-action nightmare. But animal lives matter, so they hopped on their Chinese fighter jets to join the largest PBR fight in modern history. Chinese radar couldn't see too far, so they had to rely on AWACS for targeting. They just fired everything and ran away. 1 or 2 Indian jets got locked in this spam. That's all it took for the media to throw clown celebration next day. India's mistake? Believing their neighbors won't interfere if only the radicals were hit. Yet again, the rogue nation proved that they don't just host savages, they defend them too. Indian pilots survived, but their rivals got cooked in flying Chinese barbecue. Bunch of Chinese missiles failed and fell to the ground nearly intact. Nobody knew that their fire and forget mode also includes forgetting the explosion. Soon, the number 1 army showed its illness to the world by shelling civilian areas. Indian army stood its ground and fired back. Then their brainiacs had another genius idea. They decided to promote Indian air defenses while humiliating their own rusty pipes and drones from ice cream vendors. India knows the real power is the ability to deflect punches before landing a knockout blow. That's why a significant part of budget is always spent on air defense. At the top is S-400 or Sudarshan Chakra, which tracks big targets at 600 kilometers and acquires a lock at 400 to light up the sky. It smashed one of their favorite birds. S-400 also destroyed Fateh missile heading for Ambala. But Akash was the real Chad. Neither Jazba tubes nor kebab noodles stood a chance against this made-in-India defender. It proved itself among the world's best short-range air defenses. An Akash battery comes with 4 launchers, each with 3 surface-to-air missiles. Its 3D radar can track 64 enemies 150 kilometers away while engaging with 6 of them. Akash missiles fly at Mach 3, guided by Rajendra radar, and hunt for flying objects as high as 18 kilometers in a 30-kilometer radius. It handles 15G maneuvers easily to land a solid hit on unwanted guests. For redundancy, Akash was covered by a Fiachora setup. It created a 35-kilometer lethal zone for missiles and UAVs. Fiachora took down a ballistic missile near Sirsa that was targeting Delhi. Pakistan also used it under drones to attack residential and military areas. Most of them were blown up by modernized L-70 air defense guns. Its 40mm barrel fires 240 rounds per minute. The turret has automatic target tracking with manual firing. The laser rangefinder and day-night sights upgrade made it quite accurate, one of the cheapest and most effective weapon against low-flying targets. For other small targets, India deployed D4 system paired with upgraded Shilka. D4 is India's latest frontline defense. It scans a 4-kilometer radius for drones and strikes once they are within 1 kilometer. D4 starts with a soft kill like GPS spoofing or jamming to crash the drone. If that fails, it switches to a 2 kilowatt laser that fries the drone instantly. This multi-layer defense is unbeatable by Pakistan, almost like the Iron Dome on steroids. India didn't just block attacks, it responded with vengeance. Now it was neighbors' turn to count incoming drones. Nobody expected an Israeli drone to get a visa-free entry in Lahore. Harp flew undisturbed in Pakistan, looking for hot single radars in the area. It also smashed their imported anti-aircraft gun. How did drones and missiles penetrate so deep into the airspace? Well, that happens when your air defense relies too much on honky-donkeys. It comes with advanced meditation tech to help it stay calm under pressure. Harp sent it on a spiritual journey to a higher dimension. Pakistan, fearing another divine departure, quickly relocated its HQ-16 units. The truth is, India flooded the skies with empty drones. The real ones hit later. Meanwhile, Sky Striker drones blew up critical centers, cruising over 100 km deep inside Pakistan with 10-kilogram warheads. Nagastra wiped out artillery positions near LOC, hunting targets automatically by flying low and without making any noise. The army barely had time to react, but somehow managed to attend the burial of a wanted animal. Pakistan military is also famous for hiding behind civilians, so they kept their commercial airspace open. Still, India avoided them and surgically upgraded their hangars ventilation. They cheered a rival jet going down louder than they mourned innocent lives. That's enough to show you their real mindset. For India, saving thousands of civilian lives matter more than replaceable jets. After Pakistani missile continued targeting civilians, India launched a massive retaliation. Strikes hit Jacobwal, Rahim, Bolhari, Sakkar, Rafiki, Sargoda, Junior, Pasur, Muri, Sialkot, and Chakla. In Bolhari, 52 uniforms won't be used again. It had a squadron of fighter jets, transport aircrafts, and drones. One strike collapsed a major hangar. Several aircrafts were damaged here. The assault on Nurkam was so massive that satellites in orbit saw it loud and clear. Everything changed when India hit Sargodha with precision strikes. This triggered an existential crisis in the enemy. They felt as if someone snapped their balls off. Pakistani general reached for their tactical nukes. This escalation was picked up by the states, so the Third Empire stepped in. Barely a week of airstrikes and Pakistan began doomsday preparations. Indian officials denied the strikes with a hint of sarcasm. India could have neutralized most of Pakistani nukes if it had gone full war mode, but this was just a limited operation to wipe out camps and hideouts of savages. Some hidden nukes could have survived. This is why the Orange Man talked about the consequences. Pakistan's overreaction to warning shots revealed the state of its leadership. They had announced Operation Banyan-ul-Mayus just hours before this, achieved nothing in it. So they broke the ceasefire near LOC and then declared victory to pacify their zombies. Within 4 days, over 100 lives were erased by India. Sad thing is they will just be replaced by another batch from the same herd. Now, to make things worse for them, the suspension of Indus Water Treaty may not be reversed. India could build more dams and canals to put maximum pressure on them. Sooner or later, inflation might trigger a civil unrest. Meanwhile, unknown gunmen will take out their extremists one by one. In response to future attacks, the Indian Navy could enforce a naval blockade, strangling their economy near Karachi port. To counter that, they may have to pull back from other areas. That might make things easy for angry locals, the ones who have had enough of living as second-class citizens on their own land. The Afghans are also waiting for the right time to readjust their border with Pakistan. Of course, China won't just stand back and watch this drama quietly. They'll begin with the usual phony statement. We urge both nations to exercise restraints. Then behind the scenes, they will funnel cheap weapons into Pakistan. India can disrupt this link by taking out key highways that connect them. Given the excellent performance of their donkey air defense, Pakistan won't be left with many options. But a prolonged war at a time when the world wants to invest in India would damage the business. For millennia, India's cultural resilience has immunized it from the contagion of invading forces. Pakistan could easily become a Chinese proxy to derail India's growth. So Delhi has to keep the region stable. Global manufacturing needs a new home, and India is first in line. This response was just to make it clear that India no longer holds back. It will go deeper and harder than ever. Right now, India is ramping up defense R&D and exporting battle-tested weapons. Tell me, how can India close gaps in its air force? Let's hope the clowns claiming victory on social media don't get an advance notice next time. Till then, stay strong and stay united.